Yo, yo, yo. Fucking bird. I ain't heard that bastard all this time, and now he wants to come on here when I go live. Hey, Lucky. Fucking shoot his ass. Bird sounds fucking sick. I'm alright. I just didn't get much sleep. Kind of like feeling like a zombie right now. But I don't know. It's not so much that. It's just man, when I try to go to sleep, I'll sleep for a little while and then I'll get up and then that's it. And then I have to worry about a whole heap of shit. I had to wake up early and take my dad's car to the shop because the appointment was for today. So, and one of his good friends is the one who works on the car. So we had to break the news to him. So first thing this morning, me and my brother took the car there and I bring him back home. The car's going to stay there for a day so they can repair the bumper that this lady hit. So my dad hit the left side of the fender of the car, parking in the garage, and but last year sometime. So we're getting both of them fixed. And my mom's like, "Oh, how are we gonna pay for it?" I told her, "I'm gonna pay for it. It's fine. It's only a couple $100." I told her, "I'll pay for it. It's fine." Because we're gonna end up selling the car anyway. Because she can't. She doesn't drive. So we're gonna sell the car and then deal with it. My brother says he wants to buy it, but he ain't got no money. So we have to wait for our inheritance money to come, which should be soon. Should be from now to the end of the year. He says he'll buy it, but he's only gonna buy it when he gets his inheritance money because he don't have no 20 grand in his account. That's for sure. That's how much the car costs. The car is only like 3 years old. Because the crazy thing is we bought that car from my parents, and my dad's first cousin passed away, and then they sold the car to my dad. And now that my dad's gone 3 years later, and now my it's so crazy how everything like is. So my brother, he doesn't have a car because when he got a divorce, the what his ex-wife took the car, and he was left with just a bike. Nah, it's not cursed. Nah, I don't believe in that shit anyway. So the car is fine. It's just that my mom and dad have bad luck, but and they don't deserve it. But Unfortunately, good bad things happen to good people, so it's a part of life. But my brother wants to buy the car anyway, so it's new, so he can like, and it's insured until next year. Because my dad just literally did it before he passed away. He licensed and insured the car on his birthday, so it's good to go for another year. And then so once we get our inheritance money, he'll buy it because it's just gonna sit there if we don't buy it. Well, he's using it anyway, but right now it's at the shop, so he can't use it. But my sisters, my mom, and my brother went to the funeral home to arrange everything for the funeral and pick out the coffin and all that stuff. I told them I'm not going to that. I've seen enough. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they all left just now to go to the place. They got to be there in a half an hour, so they left early, and my sister's dealing with everybody picking them all up and stuff. I can't do those type of things. I don't want to be no near no funeral homes or nothing like that. I told them, you guys can deal with that. I'm not dealing with that shit. So that's one thing I don't like dealing with. I don't. I've only been to 5 funerals my whole life, and I don't want to go that shit. You cremated your dad right after he passed on. It was too much for mom. Yeah. Well, my mom, she's still like she's gonna be. My mom does not take death very well. Like when her cats die, and when the dog died, and when her brother or sisters died, anybody she knew, she takes it very very hard. But she said that she took some sleeping pills last night, and she said that she's feeling much better because she actually got some sleep. And I'm glad she did because she needs sleep more than anything. It's just hard, you know. It's just like it's only the third day since he's been gone, so it's not like it's been like a week or 2 weeks or something or a year. It's gonna take time, but once the funeral is done on Friday afternoon, when the funeral is complete and I come home and I know it's over, that's when everything is gonna be better, in my opinion. Like it's gonna be over and done with, and we don't have to deal with it anymore. And I can always go visit him and put flowers on his grave or something like that. He actually loved planting flowers and making everything look nice. And so, well, when my nephew comes back from college, I'm gonna take him down there. We'll just hang out down there. So time. It's all about time. Yep. Well, I can't wait till it's all over because I don't like dealing with death too much. Not anybody likes it anyway, but me specifically, I don't like dealing with that. I'm like I like to be happy every day. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to cry. I don't want to get all emotional and shit. That shit doesn't. I don't like that shit. I can't handle being like emotional and crying and all that. I can't. My body can't fucking take that. I can't deal with that. It affects me a lot. So I'm not looking forward to it, but it's a part of my life. I have to deal with it, unfortunately. No, never. My dad doesn't drink. He don't drink. He don't smoke. like on like New Year's Eve, he'll have like half of a glass of champagne or something. You know, he'll have like a maybe a sip of wine here and there, but he doesn't like do it on a reg. He doesn't do it at all. My mom either. He's not. I've never seen him smoke and never seen him drink. He used to get mad when I drank beers at the club when we were watching the game. Then I would drive the car. He'd be like, "Oh, you shouldn't be driving the car. You had like 4 beers." I was like, "Well, then you drive then." So then he'll drive because he'll be like pissed at me because I had a couple beers at the bar. And I'm like, "Man, I'm fine, man. I'm not drunk. You think I'm stupid or something?" He used to be such a pain in the ass, man. Uh, he used to like be such a worry freak. But you know what? I talked to him ever since, he passed, and I told him that I'll take care of the house and I'll take care of mom. I want him to be at mom's. Don't worry about coming around here. Just go to mom's and make sure she's okay. Like, so, well, I mean, I am emotional. I can be, when bad things happen, you know, but I try to like hold myself and understand, like, just to be positive and cry on my own. I don't need people to see me like crying and shit. I don't like that. But I've already shed some tears every day. So every now and then it'll come out. Or when somebody sends me a message or somebody talks to me or something. So it's hard, but it's all right to let it out. It's all right to cry. It's all good. I don't really like worry about none of that shit. People can say whatever they want. Yeah, but smoking's never good. Smoking's bad for you. That's why I stopped. Yeah. Both my grandfathers died from drinking and smoking. So that's why another reason why I don't do it no more. And I don't want my nephews to see me do it. That's another reason I stopped. Last thing I need is, oh yeah, I see they idolize you and something happened bad to them because of you, because you drink and smoke, so they do it because we don't do it. Because none of my family smokes cigarettes except for me, like back in the day. And then my brother used to drink a lot, and my oldest sister and my youngest sister, they still drink. They have like a drink every now and then, and my brother. But me, I'm the only one that hasn't done it like in 8 years. Everybody tries to get me to drink a beer, and I'm like, no, no. Some of my friends want to give me weed and shit. I'm like, no, no. Yeah, so I can't. I don't want to be like, their downfall. Because when I told them that I dropped out of school and I still have my own business and they know I'm multi-talented and do a lot of things. They thought that, oh yeah, Uncle Mark didn't go to college, so we ain't either. But I told them that's not the right thing to do. I told them you don't want to work out here. It's too fucking hot. And I said I'm 48 and my body's finished. I can't even work hard anymore without feeling a whole heap of pain. But see, they know I work hard, so they know that that's just the way life is. But I always encourage them to like be better than me. One of my nephews, he tries too hard to be better than me or like be something that he thinks he is. He got his dumb dad's mentality sometimes. Always think that they're better than somebody else. But I don't really say nothing to him. He's only 17. He goes 18 in 3 weeks. He's the one that's in college. But he's all of them idolize me and they all love me to death and I love them same way. But I want to try and be like the best example for all of them, especially the two that I live next to next door. But only one's here now, the youngest one. and I feel bad for the youngest one. He's not in London, but he's in UK. Like he's in Bournemouth. It's a ways away from London. Yeah. I spoke to him today. He asked me how I was doing. I was like, yeah, I'm right. He wishes he was here, but he's so far away. It's gonna be too expensive to bring him back and forth and all that just for one day. So he has to study and do his work. He's coming back like at the end of the month. So I just don't want him to like. I told him he doesn't like he I thought he wasn't. Yeah, he's a 16-year-old. He's in school now. He went to school today. He has to go to school. He'll be off on Friday during the funeral and then the rest of the weekend. But I feel bad for him because he was with me when he saw my dad die. So it's not really. He's in good spirits though. He's fine. He cried a lot that day too. I told him, I said, "You're lucky." And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "At least you saw your grandfather and had to and spent time with him. We named you after him." I told him I never got to see my grandfathers and spend time with them and be named after them and all that type of shit. I said I didn't ever saw like I never had time with them at all. So they're like, "Yeah, I understand." So you know how hard it is to see both your grandparents. I said I never got that privilege. I wish, but I know they're in spirit helping me and stuff, but it's not the same, you know. I don't have no recognition of any of them. I just know what they look like. I know what they did. I know how they are. I know their names. I know what where they were. They both came to Bermuda at one point in time, but it's all good. It's just the way it is. It's difficult, but I'll get through it. I just can't wait till the funeral's over and done with, so I can continue on with helping my mom and just doing things that I need to do. Like I just don't. I want that day to come and go, and then like I just want to like let it all go because I already have let it go. Like I don't need the funeral to like make me feel any type of way because like I said, in my mediumship takes care of all of that. So I've already had, what I've had with my dad is different from what everybody else has with my dad. So he spoke to me again yesterday, and he kept telling me that he's gonna. Because I told him, I said, "Can you please just like don't worry about any of us. Just stay with mom, like, cause she needs you now. Cause I don't want nothing bad happen to her at the house." But I told him, I said, "Look, man, just go down there and leave. Don't worry about me. There ain't no games on now. When the game comes on, you can come up here, and I'm gonna go pick up my mom like every other day and get her out of that house. And she's probably not gonna want to, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get her out of there, and I'm gonna take her to the graveyard, you know, to the cemetery, whatever. I'm gonna take her there like every week if she wants to. It's up to her. I'm gonna go out of my way to take care of her and make sure she's okay. But yesterday she was irritated because the phone kept ringing. She had to sit down, get back up, sit down, get back up, and she told me like I'm so fed up of answering this phone. And then I was like, "You want me to answer?" She's like, "No, no." She's very stubborn, and I just let her be. Like I'm not gonna like. I didn't even call her today because I don't want to like bother her. Because I know pure people are calling her and stuff. Because when I was there yesterday, like three to four people called her while I was there. I barely spoke to that much and we didn't even eat lunch because we weren't hungry. And like going back to the scene where I saw my dad in the kitchen, dead pretty much. It wasn't that great for me. That's why I didn't get no sleep tonight last night, because it all replayed in my mind. So it's not, it's, I was the only child I was the only, I was the only one there out of my sisters and brother. I had to see that shit right when it happened. So it's more difficult for me to see that. I mean, when he got to the hospital, they saw him getting pumped again, going into the hospital, but there's nothing like what I saw. And unfortunately, my nephew saw it too. But him and I have been through a lot. Um, but God puts me in these places because He knows I can handle it. I'm not no pussy. Like, He knows. God knows. Like, He's like, Mark, you can handle these images. We've given you worse. Because when I do mediumship, sometimes I see a lot of bad things, like, bad images of people dying and, you know, bad things, people committing suicide and all that. Things I don't want to see, things that I want to cut out. But sometimes, like, it's the only way they can explain things or, like, prove things. So it's not easy, but I can handle it. Like, I can handle it. I'm trying to, like, that's why I didn't go with my family today to go pick out the coffin and do all that funeral shit because I can't handle all of that. I told them I'm not doing that shit. You guys can do it. And they don't say nothing to me because they know I'm the closest to my dad besides my mom. So I don't want to see that stuff. That's for them to deal with because I do more than they do. I do more than all my brothers and sisters. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, because that's why they don't say nothing because they know I've done more than my fucking share from my parents and from my dad. And my dad only wanted me to do things. He never called anybody else. It was always me, 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 me. So now his words to me was to take care of my mom. And that's what I have to do now. So everybody knows I'm not a funeral person. I didn't even go to my grandmother's funeral because I stayed home and took care of the kids because they were too young. And nobody wanted to take care of them because they were all at the funeral. I said, I'm not going to no funeral anyway. What do you mean? It's your grandmother. I said, let me tell you something. I was with that woman more than all of you. When I was young, I went to my grandma when my grandma lived with her sister-in-law. Because my grandfather and my grandfather had a brother that was married to my auntie. And both of them died. And then my auntie and my grandmother lived together in the same house. So they won't be alone. Right? My granny had her side and my auntie had the other side. And they were like best friends anyway. So when my auntie went away, right? Like she went away like 4 or 5 times a year. So when she was by herself, my granny would call my dad and say, "Oh, can you please tell Mark to come up here and sleep in the spare bedroom? I know I have the dog, but it's not the same. I need somebody here. Can you please tell Mark come up here?" It was always Mark, Mark, Mark. If anybody has dealt with their family more, it's me. So I used to take care of my granny when I was like 12 years old, make sure she was okay. Go sleep up my auntie's house and take care of her, make sure she's all right. But my granny will cook and stuff and make me food, give me stuff, and she'd be like, "Oh, giving me hugs and kisses and stuff." I love my granny, but towards the end, she was like being a bitch to all of us. Like she acted really stupid and she started like acting up. So like I started not to like her before she passed away. And she reached 94 and she died from like shingles. She got shingles and all that, and she ended up staying with my mom and dad for 6 months and 6 months and drove them absolutely crazy. My dad almost had a heart attack back then because he was like telling her off about shit because she was being so dumb, and my mom couldn't take it. Like my parents have been through too much, you know, like especially my mom and my dad's dad. He died when my dad was 32. It's been 50 years since my grandfather died because he died the year before I was born. So there's too much. There's a lot of shit that people don't understand, like about the things in my family that are in my family. Like you guys, obviously, know what because I say it on here. But like on Saturday when I got together with my family at my sister's house, I said things that they didn't even know that existed because my dad told me everything. See, he confides more in me than anybody else. Than obviously on my mom. But he wasn't really close with the rest of his children except for my youngest sister. But that was towards the end. Like when my youngest sister, these last 10 years, my youngest sister like did a lot for my parents because like they my sister has like she was a owner of like a big company and she was making money, so she took my parents on the first cruise. My mom and dad cried when they were on the cruise because they thought it was like a dream come true to them to finally go on a cruise because my parents couldn't afford all that type of shit. Hey Marley, good morning, how you doing? So there's a lot of things that like my family, my siblings don't even know that I mentioned on Saturday when we got together. And they were looking at my nephew, with my oldest nephew, he was looking at me like he was staring at me as if to say, I can't believe how much my Uncle Mark knows. I told him, I said, my brain's like a computer with an external hard drive. It's got everything recorded. I don't forget much. I don't forget too many things. And I knew everything what my dad said. Because I know my dad ain't no liar. He tells me everything. I found out a lot this year. I found out more things about my family that I've never known in my life. And it just because I feel like, I think my dad knew he was on his way out. I don't think I knew he did. And he said a lot of things this year that surprised me, like that I didn't know. So I was like, fuck, I didn't even know that shit. And he told me, and then I told my sister, and my sister's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, dad told me. Because my dad confides a lot in me, see, because I'm always around him, right? And he don't want nobody else but me. When he gets a haircut, Mark, I'm gonna get a haircut. I called the person, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So I'll go down there, take his car. He'll come in there, and he couldn't even like the last time I took him to get his haircut, which was like 2 weeks ago. Like when you're sitting in the car like this, he couldn't even go like this to grab the seatbelt. I would have to go like that and grab the seatbelt for him and put it in his hand, and then he would push it down and I'll click it in. Like I don't want to make him feel like super incompetent or something or like a baby, but I would let him do like half of it so he didn't feel like he was worthless, because his hands were so fucked up before he died. Like his middle finger was all distorted. It was like different colors, and it was like it looked like crazy shit, like you see off a movie. He had arthritis and gout so bad that it deformed his fingers. And he was right-handed, so he couldn't even sign his name. Like he would try to do it, and he did it sometimes. He couldn't like really drive the car properly. He would use his left hand. Like he was at like the point in his life where he knew he was gonna go. That's why I'm not really like shocked that he died. I knew it was coming, but it's just fucked up because it happened at home and we go there every time. Like, and right where he died on the ground is right in front, right in the kitchen, right in front of the fucking table where we eat at. Right where his spot. He died right in the spot that he sits at the table. Like that's fucking crazy shit. Like man, like when I remember those images, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, and then I say to myself, well, I guess that's how he wanted us to remember him, always in the kitchen and always, in his spot. Like, and I used to get pissed at him when I ate next to him because I used to sit next to him. I sat in between him and my mom, and that's how they wanted it, right? So he would have his elbows were always out like this when he ate, right? And he'll be like going like this, and his elbow will always hit me. And I'm like, you want me to move over or what? And he's like, hey, but shut up and eat your food, man. Leave me alone. You always say something, right? Because I used to tease him, right? And he used to tell me, like, shut up and like leave him alone. Cause like his elbows would touch me. I'd be like, why you touching me for? I'm right next to you. I'm bigger than you and you're fucking I'm not touching you. You keep your damn elbows to yourself. You look like a fucking chicken. Man, like flapping your wings or something. And my mom will fucking die laughing, right? And she goes, leave him alone. I say, leave him alone. Fucking why you gotta touch me for when you're eating? And his elbows were so fucked up, right? Like see how my elbows like this? His was sticking out, like the bone was sticking out. Like he lost a lot. He lost like probably maybe 30 pounds in the last year. And his body was like deteriorating more and more. And my mom says he sleeps all the time, but this last couple of days, he said his body was super cold, you know, because he was on blood thinners, so his blood was like I said, he in July the doctor told me he's not gonna last too much longer. So I was like, well, I hope not. I hope that he lasts longer. But at least he lasted to see my nephew graduate back in June. He saw my nephew graduate, and I saw him cry and stuff, and it like made his day. He was so happy. Like he was like the happiest person to see his grandson graduate. I wish he could have saw the youngest one graduate in 2 years time, but technically he is. He's gonna be there in spirit instead of like physical shit. And one thing about me, I'm gonna know when he's around. Trust me, he's gonna make himself. Now that he knows I'm a medium, and now that he knows that I do this shit now, because I never said nothing to him, but now he knows. He knows my secret, so now he'll be around probably more now. Because he always bothers me anyway. He's always my biggest pain in the ass. He is the champion pain in the ass. I tell everybody that. There are people ask me, "Oh, how's your dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's still a pain in my ass." And then they'll say, "Oh, yeah, I saw you down there talking to him." I mean, because my parents live right on the roadside, so you could see like our house, and if we're there, like And when I go down there and cut the grass or paint or do something, he's always sitting there. And "Look, I'll show you a picture that I found." Because none of my siblings have pictures of my dad like me. Because I used to take a picture of him and send it in the chat. I said, this guy's still irritating me. And they would be like, leave dad alone. Leave dad alone. Don't diss him. And I was like, I used to do it like on purpose to like talk shit. But this is a picture I found of him from like 2018. Uh, He's sitting down on a chair and you see the paint can right here, right? That's the paint can I was painting. And he was sitting there watching me. And he had like a band-aid on his leg right there. You can see like a band-aid on his leg. And he's always wearing flip-flops. Like that's me right there. That's exactly how I look. And that's exactly I wear the bucket hats when I work. I wear flip-flops. I'm like his mini me. And he's always wearing shades like me. Like I'm like him, I mean. But like that's him, like at the house. And like I looked at this picture, I'm like, fuck, every grass was all green, the hedges was all nice. And the hurricane fucked the hedges all up. Like that was in 2018, I think. So that was like 8 years ago when he was doing pretty good. So yeah, that's a picture I found. I have other pictures, but I just haven't I don't really want to look at them right now. But I know I have a lot though. I have a few. I sent some to my sister so she could put it in the collage, like, 'cause she's making like this thing. But as you can see, like, this is a family photo, right? Let me hold on a second. This is a family photo, and look who he's standing next to. I was probably like maybe, I don't know, 14. That's my dad right next to me again. We were always standing next to each other. Mm. My older sister sent me that today. And I said, yeah, look who he's standing next to. Not fucking you. I gotta stop being rude. But This was on September 21st. This is 2 days before his birthday. And yeah, I took a picture and sent it to the chat because he was cold. So I took a picture of him in the living room. That's my dad right there watching TV. And he's got the AC was on, right? And he's got this big blanket covering his feet and his whole body. He says, "Hey, but this air conditioner's too cold." And I said, "Hey guys, look at that. He's got a big ass thing on. It's hot as shit, and he's talking about he's cold." Well, we knew why he was cold. It's just funny looking at him like that, right? That was September 21st. And this is like I took a picture of him getting up. Like this is when he took the cover. This is when he was sitting down to put the cover on. So I took a picture of him like that. I said, "Look, he's gonna sit down and put his cover on." So I took a picture and put it in the chat. My sister said, "Thank God you sent those pictures and videos to me." Because that's like the last picture I took of him was September 21st. This was the last picture that I have of him. And he has a good haircut too. I took him to get his haircut right before his birthday. I have to go to the haircut place that he goes to and tell them that he's not coming down there no more. I'm sure they're gonna know from the I'm sure they're gonna know anyway by the newspaper clipping that's gonna probably be out probably tomorrow. This was him like when was this? This was in August. This was in August, my dad right here now. I cropped him out of a picture at church. This is at church, and he was like standing next to my my his grandson. Yeah, this is the picture right here. June 29th. Because my nephew got an award, right? And my dad and my mom was there with my nephew. So I cropped him out. My nephew right here, the one I just showed you, he's devastated because he loved my dad. They all did. All my nephew, all his grandkids loved him. Because they see my dad talks a lot of shit like me, right? He's got stories. He'll play with you and play sports and like my dad was always happy when he saw his grandchildren. So I know he's gonna take care of all of them. I know he's gonna always be around. See, that's why I'm not really like upset too much. Obviously, not seeing him again, like in physical form, is kind of fucked up. But especially when like yesterday Portugal played, and not yesterday, Saturday Portugal played, and they played at our team's home, right? And I didn't even know. But usually he would call me and say, "Hey, Portugal's playing today and they're playing at our stadium. You're gonna watch it or whatever, or you coming here or you want me to come there or whatever. Just talk about football all the time." And then when my nephew told me it was at Sporting Center, I'm like, "Oh fuck, I didn't even know." I said your grandfather would have told me, but he's not here to tell me. So I was just like, I said, "Here we go," like, cause he used to update me on things, and cause I'll be working or doing something, he'll call me out of the blue. "Hey, look, the game. What time's the game today?" And I was like, "You're in front of the damn TV. I bought you fucking the black box so you could watch all the channels." He goes, "Hey, but I went to sleep." He goes, "Hey, but I went to sleep." That's how he talked, right? And he was sleeping too. Every time we watched football, he was sleeping and shit. But I'm so happy that he can finally rest, man. He never has to be in pain again, which I'm so grateful for. Because it hurt me to see him in pain these past like year. This whole year he's been in pain a lot. And I hate seeing him walk with a cane and all that shit. So I'm glad God took him, man, because he was suffering too much. I know some people be like, no way, how could you be glad? I'm like, yeah, I'm glad because you don't see him. I see him every fucking week. I see him 2, 3 times a week. Ain't nobody saw him more than me and my mom. I saw the pain that man went through. You fucking dumb. I saw everything. That's why I'm glad God took him. You don't understand. I don't want that man to live in pain. No way. He's had enough pain as it is. Yeah. I just feel bad for my mom. That's all. My mom's gonna suffer a lot now. Like mentally, she's gonna suffer a lot because she takes death like too bad. And my dad used to get irritated at her when one of our cats died. She'll be talking about the cat for like 6 months. Oh, my poor cat. She's like all dramatic, right? Capricorn energy, you know? So she'll be like all dramatic and shit. My dad be looking at me like, hey, well, I gotta get out of the house. Your mother's still talking about that stupid cat. Oh man, that shit was funny. I remember all the things he used to diss my mom when death was around, right? When a cat died or something like that, right? He'd be like, hey, I'm sick and tired of hearing about this damn cat. You would think I died or something the way she talks about this fucking cat. He never swore or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, I do. But we might get a cat for my mom, so that way she can but I don't know if it's a good idea though, because she might be pissed. And see, it's another expense too, right? Having a pet ain't cheap. But I don't know. I'm gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna ask her, and then I'll see what she's gonna say no. I know she is. She's probably gonna say no. Well, we'll see. She might want one eventually. Yeah, she's only had one female cat. All the rest are all males. Actually, no, she had two female cats. My mom's had like 10 cats. I got pictures of all of them. I had our first cat was a yellow cat, a yellow orange like Garfield, and his name was Sonny. We called him Sonny. And there's a pic. We have pictures of me picking him up and my mom. And then we lived next to the road. See, that's the only downfall. So he chased like a lizard. We have like a lot of lizards in Bermuda. So the cat went to chase the lizard, but then the tree and a car ran him over. That's how most of them died. Like, cause we live next to the road. So it's as soon as you open that door, then the road's right there. And then we try to like not. My mom actually had her female cat that she had for like 17 years on a leash outside because she don't want nothing happen to that damn cat. We called the cat Multi. Yeah, that's what she'll do. But I don't know if she can handle one because I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a good idea because if the cat starts running around and like trips her up and she falls, I'll regret getting it. You know what I mean? I don't want to think that negative, but no, my luck, fuck. So I don't know. I have to see if she agrees to it, and then I would say I'll probably get her one. I'll probably take her to the SPCA and say, look, pick one of these fucking cats or whatever. I think having a pet will make her feel better. Someone to sleep with or someone she'll feel, the cat will make her feel better. But she's a nut. She doesn't really want a cat. She hasn't had a cat in a couple years, so she says no more cats. I can't take that no more. So I'm like, oh god. She might be. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's too early now, but I told my sister maybe Christmas will get her a cat. We guys might get a cat and put him in a box, and then tell her to open it up. She probably say, "I don't want no present." I was like, "Yeah, open it up. It's a nice present for you." She's gonna be like, "Oh my god." She'll be in love with the cat. Watch. Yeah, and then jump out. And she's gonna be like, "You bastard! You scratched me. I don't want this goddamn cat. Where's Done?" I don't know. She's weird like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know how it's gonna be. I really don't know, but it's too early to like really determine all these things. It's only been a couple days, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe she's gonna say yes. Maybe a cat will appear around the house and she'll end up feeding it and stuff. I got a few cats around here. I should snatch one and go take it to her. I'll be like, here, kitty, kitty. Hey, mom, I got you a cat. I'll buy her like a couple cases of food so she don't have to worry about it and some kitty litter. Next thing you know, she'll be calling me, "That's the best bastard cat. Ruined my sofas. He's ripping up my carpet, this bastard. I wish I would have never got this cat. He peed in my on the floor of my brand new carpet." I'm like, no, God, why did I do that? After Diamond's gone, that's it for me. I'm telling you the truth right now. I'll never get another animal ever again. Never ever again. One of the worst days of my life was when I had to take my pit bull to the vet alive, but he couldn't walk. He was fucked, and he was so old that if they operated on him, it was going to be a risk. He probably would have died because he had a blood clot in his leg. His leg was completely purple, and he was howling and shit and in pain. I said, "Look, he's 15 years old. I just take him out of his misery." I didn't want to, but he was kind of worthless. He couldn't even walk. Well, I fed him his favorite meal, chicken and rice, and then I took him to the vet and they put him down. That was probably the worst day of my life. 18 years ago this year, he'll be gone already. And I've had Diamond for the past 11 years, but not even my damn dog. It's my jackass brother-in-law's dog, but now I have to deal with her. All right, Marley, no problem. Stop bullshitting. Yeah, I had to put him down because he was like at nighttime he was howling at night from pain, and I can't listen to that. I can't listen to an animal in pain. That shit eats me alive. I can't do that. And then I took him to the vet, and the doctor said, "Look, there's nothing we can do because his leg is fucked, and like he won't be able to walk." And they said if because he's so old now, like if we operate on him, he's not gonna make it. And I just left him there, told him that he's gonna be told him that I looked at him and I said, "You're gonna be in a better place now, and you're not gonna be in pain." And then that was it. It was probably one of the hardest days of my life because I was with him for 15 years. He was like my best friend. I was with him every day, all day, just like Diamond. So Diamond's been in here last month, made 4 years. No, yeah, made 4 years she's been in here. This September made 4 years she's actually living with me in here. And I know when she goes, it's gonna be very bad. And she's already deteriorating. Her hearing is bad. She don't even know that we're around sometimes. She doesn't bark anymore when she hears like when I come home, like she used to know I was coming and she'll bark and stuff. She can hear. But now her hearing's gone. Like it's not that great. Her legs are like she's limping from arthritis and pain. She eats very well, drinks very well, but she can't like go long distances, and that's why she's sleeping a lot and resting a lot, like she is back here. She goes 11 on February, and boxes don't really last like long. At least I haven't heard of any like really long like age. But all depends on how you take care of the dog, right? But she's still in good shape. She's still a big dog. She still does her thing. Eat, sleep, shit, and piss. She's cool. And she sleeps a lot. Last night, I didn't get much sleep. And then I woke up. I woke up and I looked over at my clock and it said 5:55. And I started laughing. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I sat up in my bed. I had a sip of water because my mouth was so dry. And I just sat there for like a minute to catch myself. And I went to pee and then I came back and all I hear is, and I'm like, yeah, I know who doesn't have a problem sleeping. I heard her loud ass snoring downstairs and I'm like, wow, must be nice. So I took her ass outside. I came downstairs and took her ass outside to pee at like 6 something. Then I bring her back inside and then at 7:30 I got back up and then couldn't sleep. And then I had to pick up my brother at 8 o'clock to drop off the car. And another bad thing this week is the weather's gonna be really bad this week. And on the funeral it's supposed to be very windy and rainy, which I'm not looking forward to. But at least I have like a jacket here that I can wear if once we go outside. Hopefully when we go and put him in the grave, hopefully it's not raining. But I have to be prepared and take my jacket just in case. Well, weather can change from now until Friday, but apparently the forecast is bad weather on Friday. I'm like, yeah, of course. Why would it be any different? We're starting to get into winter time. Yep, we have like another hurricane, remnants of a hurricane coming here. We have like a front from the northeastern in the states coming here. Tonight and tomorrow it's supposed to be really bad here, really bad. And I'm like, great, it's exactly what I fucking need. It's sunny right now, but it's like partly cloudy. Like its sun will come out for like 2 minutes, and then the clouds will come. Then it'll rain. Then the clouds will come back up. And it's so humid today. But I turned my AC off because it was so cold in here today. I was like, hell no. I turned it off, and then I had like lobster yesterday because I was gonna eat the lobster on Friday. But then my dad passed away, and I said, "Fuck, man, I can't throw this lobster away. I'll just eat it on like Sunday or something." So I put it in the fridge, and then because I had it in a container, like the stench was so bad, but the meat was fine. I just like put it in water and made sure, like, I got like some of the stench out of it. But when I cooked it, it stunk up my whole apartment. I was like, "Fuck, man." I was so pissed. And then I had my candle on behind me. And I put some Palo Santo and I opened up all the windows and the doors and shit and turned off my AC to get the stench out of here. I was like, I can't win, man. I'm like, fuck, it's some bullshit. But I can't just throw away $50 of a lobster like that. That's not happening. And I ate it in memory of my dad, so that's my excuse. But now, see the sun, we're back to cloudy again. I want to go outside and do some work and cut the grass and do some stuff that I need to do, but I just don't have the energy. If I don't sleep, I feel like shit. But I had two coffees today and I had like a little breakfast sandwich, but I need to like try and get some rest. But I hate sleeping during the day. Like I can't sleep right now. It's not gonna work. Like it's gonna ruin my whole day if I sleep during the day. I just don't like to. I hate sleeping during the day. I kind of want to go outside and just sit next to the pool and just chill. But then if I do that, I'm gonna start thinking of shit. So that's why I came live to keep trying, like, just keep talking and just keep doing shit and just try and like not worry about it too much. Then my cousin called me first thing this morning to see how I was doing. He's my best friend and my cousin, and he says he's coming to the funeral with his dad. He says he couldn't imagine losing his parents. He still has both of his parents. His mother's on my dad's age. And he says he lives with his father right now to take care of him. His father's like going 80. So he says, "Hey, Mark, man, I know how it is, bro. I know you and your dad were tight and close like me and my dad." He was like, "Just hang in there, man." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. I don't really, I'm not like, some wimp. I'm good." The best thing is I know he's here in spirit, so it doesn't bother me that much. I know he's gone. I feel it. I know it. I know it's true. But at the end of the day, you know, he'll be here all the time. And every time I watch football, I'll talk to him while I'm down here. Our team plays, I think they play on Sunday. So the funeral is on Friday, and then our team plays on Sunday. So I think we play on Sunday. I'm not sure, but I think it's Saturday or Sunday. So that'll be the first game that we'll be watching together in a different form. So I'm looking forward to it. Stupid ass birds. Yeah, that's how it goes. How long ago your dad passed away, Lucky? How long ago? Every time I go live and I got my door open, there's fucking birds come here. Every time. They're like in my videos during the winter. Oh, see, he's been gone for a long time. Shit. 11 years. I'll be seeing that soon. Time flies. I remember when my godmother died, and then like, and my uncle's already been dead a whole year, and it seemed like it was yesterday. Then I was looking through my photos, and I saw my friend that died and crashed off the bridge and drowned. I saw the picture of him today, and I was like, "Fuck." That's why I hate looking at pictures like sometimes, because like you. And then I was like, "Yo, what up?" It's like I remember like, well, I remember all the good times. Like, well, birds are like a thing with me. Birds have been so significant in my life. They're always around, always like messengers and stuff. And then it was the butterfly the day before my dad died on Thursday. I saw the butterfly, so I knew something was happening. That's like the transformation sign, and I'm like, oh boy, do I really want to touch this fucking butterfly? But I couldn't see him there to die, so I saved his life. But that happened the day before my dad died. That butterfly, like that I don't know if you saw the video of me saving the butterfly. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I didn't really have to go. Like, he came to me more than I came to him. So, like, I don't really need my dad for stuff like that, for like moral support, because he weren't that type of person. My dad, like, he never really, I wouldn't say never, but my dad and I, we have like a weird relationship in the beginning. Now it's different, but we still had like a weird, we were close, but not close enough to like we talk about like girls and relationships and all that type of shit. Like he weren't about that life. He was like, "Yeah, you want to go be of a hoe? Goodbye." Or you want to deal with the whole life? Goodbye. Like when I was younger, like really young, I was a pain in the ass, 16, 17, 18, 19. When I was like 19 years old, I moved out. I didn't speak to him for like a year. I used to hate my dad when I was like 19, 20. And then I would say probably when I was in my 20s, like when I was growing up, I kind of like our team like was like doing good, and we bonded through sports all the time. We always bonded through sports. And then when my nephews were born, we bonded more because of them. So ever since my he had his first grandson, which was 23 years ago, and I was about 25 going 26, that's when everything changed. So from like 17 to like maybe 23, 22, something like that, there was like 5 years where I didn't like my dad at all because he was so annoying, strict. He gave us curfews. He ruined my DJ career. He ruined everything for me, like, because he didn't want to let me go anywhere. So when I was 19, I was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Got my own apartment. I couldn't deal with him anymore of him trying to hold me back from life. And then one of the worst memories I have was like when I was 29, uh, I went to visit them, and I sat down at the table, and he was like in the living room, and my mom was in the kitchen, and I said, I want to tell you guys, something. And it's like, oh, what happened? I said, look, I'm sick and tired of working for everybody. I'm gonna go on my own. And my mom put her head down, and my dad said, that's the worst mistake that you can make in your life because you're never going to have a steady paycheck. And I said, how the hell do you know? You've never been on your own, so how the fuck do you know? I said, you work for people that are on their own. So, like, why would you say that shit to me? Like, what, you think I can't do it? And I was like, you know what, man? Fuck you. I'm out of here. Like, I left, and I didn't want to speak to him anymore because he never gave me like that courage and that like that confidence, like, oh yeah, I know you can do it because I know you know what you're doing. If you go on your own, I'll support you. Or hey, look, good for you. Like, nothing. He never was a positive like person. He was so cold, and he was like, oh, you're not gonna make it. Like, I'm like, wait, fuck you. So I started to like dislike him again, and I was like, yeah, you fucker, I'm gonna show you, like, that I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna succeed, and you're gonna need me more than I'll need you. Cause I was already doing things around the house. Cause he don't want nobody else do nothing around the house. Cause he knows, and he knew how good I was, and everybody would tell him how good I was, how good of an electrician I was, like, maintenance person. He knew, like, he knows like how I was, but he never really gave me the confidence. He was such an idiot like that. So then I went on my own, and I bought a car, a van, and then like I started working and shit. And then one day he went to church. Well, he went to church every Sunday. But one day at church, somebody came up to him and said, hey, I know the guy too. He goes, oh, your son said that, I mean, this guy told me that your son is a very good electrician, your son Mark. And he's doing very good with his business. So many people like him. He's doing a great job. You should be proud of him. And my dad like was speechless because he wanted to hear, oh, your son's a fucking sellout. He fucked up this job. My dad's always ready to hear negative shit so he can pounce on it and say, I told you so. Like, my dad was weird like that. He was weird. Like, he was so fucking annoying, like, and and then he started hearing more and more good things about me. And then my older sister, she went to a party in 2011, and one of my main client was there, and he says, "Oh, you're Mark's sister? Oh, I didn't know that." Because our friend Mark, they work together at this job. Oh, your brother's so good at what he does. He's such a great person. And he did the electrical at our house. He did the electrical at them. So my oldest sister was always jealous, right? Because her husband never went on his own, and she thought her husband was better than me, right? But he can't even tie my shoelaces. But anyway, long story short, my sister was so like jealous, and they called me the next day and said, "Oh, we met your sister, and she was here for her husband. But when we started talking about you, they kind of like turned a blind eye and act like they don't even know who you are." I said, "Yeah, they don't like me. They're jealous of me because I did something that they wanted to do, and I'm succeeding. So if I was fucked up, they would have pounced on it because that's how family is. That's how people are. Instead of being happy for somebody, they want to hear a negative outcome so they can say, "Yeah, I told you Mark is a gangster and he smokes weed and drinks and then he hangs around people." Nah, nah, nah. They want to be like, "Yeah, fuck him, like yeah, he's a sellout, whatever." My dad said he weren't gonna make it. They were dying to hear like bad shit, but they couldn't because there is nothing bad. So anyway, I had to prove all of them wrong exactly. So anyway, my sister told my mom, and my sister told my other sister, and we had such a great laugh because we were like, yeah, they always because my oldest sister did renovations at her house, but she never wanted to hire me to do the electrical. So because she didn't think that I knew what I was doing, right? Nobody thought that I knew what I was doing because they don't see me work, right? Just my mom and dad. But even then, even they didn't like confide in what I did. So anyway, that was when I first started, and then a couple years later, like I said, I started in 2007, and then in 2010, going into 2011, I had a lot of work and I was making a lot of money. And then around 2015, I took a break because I got hurt. Like I fell from this like thing and I fucked up my leg, so I took like 2 months off to recuperate. So my parents are like, "Oh, you've been off for so long, how are you gonna live?" And I'm like, "How am I gonna live?" I say, "You know how much fucking money I've made in the past couple years? Like, what you think I'm fucking home all day fucking doing shit? Like, I'm still working, like I'm still doing shit on behind the scenes." But see, they didn't know about my psychic shit. So like, and they didn't know about all that stuff. I was making money as a psychic back then. Like 10 years ago, I was already doing readings before I came on here. So they didn't know I was making money while I was, home doing nothing. So they were wondering why, I'm saying to myself, you think I ain't got no money in my account? You think made all this work and I spent it all? Like, so anyway, they always like was always worried about whether or not I was gonna make it or not. So no, they don't know nothing about this. My mom recently found out that I was on YouTube, but she doesn't know, that I have a channel. She just saw me talking one day because I'm a dumbass and left the YouTube up on the thing that I have. Like I left it there because I was checking it while they were gone, and I wanted to like see something, see if the YouTube worked there. And then one day she pressed the wrong button and she saw me talking, and she was like, "Oh, I'm watching you on the internet," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh fuck." Thank God I didn't like shuffle cards when she saw me or anything, right? Or like I don't really care if she did. She did. I wouldn't give a shit. But like she knows I have a channel, but she doesn't like know. She's too old to know anything about those type of things, right? And I always tell her that I have psychic friends if she needs like to get something, right? Yeah, I kind of got busted, but they still don't really know, right? Anyway, and my dad was in the hospital at the time. It was back in April. So I was at my mom's house all the time because my dad was in the hospital. I would come there, pick her up, take her home, all that type of shit. And then I would come there and check the YouTube shit on the TV. And one day I left it on YouTube. So when I came live, it notified the thing, and so she pressed the button and saw me talking. She was like, "What the fuck?" So she called me, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" I got off a live, went down there, and logged out, so she can't see it no more. But it's all good. I don't really care. She doesn't really know anything like that. I keep it secret from my family. I don't want them to know. But now my dad knows. So it's all good. I don't really care. Like he can know. because I want him to be around in spirit anyway, and I want to talk to him in spirit. Talking to him in spirit is kind of different, but you know, it's still like kind of the same. But but they both my parents never really believed in me until recently, because a lot of people have told them that I'm the guy, right? They're like, oh, your son did this house and he did this. Oh, Mark is such a wonderful boy. You know, you should be so proud of him. And then my neighbor saw him at the grocery store. Oh, you have such a good son. He painted your house. He cut your grass. You know, he does so much for you. I wish my sons was like him. All that type of shit. So then they started to like swallow their pride and say, you know what? Mark's a fucking pain in the ass, you know. But, you know, at least like, you know, he does everything for us. Like, so, and you know what? I've done so much for my mom and dad after all they have done to me, like not, I mean, they're not bad people, they just have a bad attitude, and they're not like positive people. They're not like, yes, you're gonna do it, you know, we have faith in you, we love you, you know, you can do it, you know, we'll get you work, we'll tell everybody about you. No fucking way. They were like, you know, so scared to promote me, talk about me, and like they and sometimes psychics used to tell me that my dad was like jealous of me, and I'm like, nah, I don't think he's jealous of me. He's just the way he is. He would never be jealous of me. He doesn't have a jealous bone in his body, and neither do I. I'm not jealous of anybody. You do whatever you want. Give a fuck about your life. You know, you're doing good, great. If you're doing bad, oh well, it's not my problem. I said my dad's not jealous of me. What it is, he's not a very encouraging person, you know, and you have to realize that he lost his dad when he was 32. And his dad was probably like him, like quiet, didn't really like, you know, a hard worker and didn't really have that confidence building mentality, like, you know. So I don't grudge my parents for it, you know. It's because of the way I described my dad when he like how he was with me. So people thought that he was jealous of me, and I'm like, nah, that's not it. Trust me. They're like, you sure? I'm like, no, no. So trust me, deep down inside, my dad, he loved me, and he was very proud of me being who I was, you know, having my own business. And then recently when I bought that new van this year, he looked at it, and I caught him looking at the name like Mark's Maintenance, and he was looking at the van like that, and he looked around and he went like that as if to say, hey, he's doing good. He's got his new van. He's all right. You know, he's official now. You know, because he always used to think I was bullshitting and stuff, and just like he always thought I was lying to him about work and about how I was, and but I never asked him for a dollar. I gave more to him in the end. My business pays for his shit. You know. So I don't hate my dad or hate my mom or look at them any different. It's just their style. It's their way. That generation, people like in their 80s and late 70s, they have that mentality where, you know, you guys have way more than us. So of course you're gonna have more than us now, you know, and we don't have to tell you we love you, you know, and we don't have to tell you these things because you already know. So like they're not like this generation. They're like my generation and people our age, they're more like lovey-dovey and complimentative and encouraging and positive and be like, go, you can do it, you know, like everybody always, you know, like especially in here, like we're all like, oh, we're so happy for you, or you know, they're very supportive. Like they're not like that. My parents never been that way. They have never been like, oh, we're so proud of you, you know, blah. They're not like that. They don't even say I love you. My mom says I love you now because we put her in that mentality. But I've never heard my dad say "I love you" ever in life. He said it to me in spirit the day he died, but that's about it. And that's the only way he's gonna tell me is in spirit, because he won't tell me that shit in real life. He never did. And see, like it doesn't bother me because I know that that's their way of life, because they probably didn't have that from them, from their own parents. You know, it all depends on what culture you're from or how you've been brought up and things like that. And a lot of people my age that come in here, they say, look, our parents were the same way, Mark. They never said that shit. It was like it's not a thing back then, you know? It never was a thing back then. So I said, yeah, I accept it. It's cool. It doesn't matter. Like, I know they love me and I know they care about me, and obviously they do. But like to hear it will be nice, you know, every now and then. But like it didn't bother me like that. It still doesn't bother me, to be honest. I don't really give a fuck. But see, I tell my nephews I love them all the time. You know. Now my mom says it, but I don't say it to my mom because she don't say it to me. But like I'll give her a hug and a kiss and stuff like that, and she'll say go shave because my beard pricks her or whatever. She goes, oh, you need to go shave. I'm like, Mom, man, leave me alone, man. I'm gonna do what I want. I don't want to shave every fucking day, like, or every week like that. I said, I ain't got no time for that shit. I said, I like my beard. I don't give a fuck. It should be like paying the ass like that. But, but like I said, my business has been around for 19 years now, and they're my number one client family. You know, because every week they'll call me. Mark, I don't want to bother you. I know you're gonna say all we do is call you when we need something. Cause I rub it in their face sometimes, right? Cause they irritate me too much, right? They should be calling like my brother or somebody else, like, you know. And then I said, yeah, what do you want? And then it was like, you know, and and I said, look, you know, I'll come down there and I'll fix whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just teasing you. And they're like, oh, you're so rude. And I'm like, yeah, 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 whatever. So I'll go down there and fix it in like 5 minutes, right? And they were like, oh, thank you very much. I don't want to bother you. And then you're gonna say we don't have money to pay you. I wish I had money to pay you every time. I said, look, I don't need your fucking money. I'm just teasing you. Like, just take it as a joke. Like, I like to joke around. You know me by now. I'm not like, gonna rub this in your face forever or tell you, like, you better leave your house to me because I do everything. I don't give a fuck. Like, I just like, just calm down. Like, oh, see, when me ask you for something, you say, I only love you, man. I only love you, man. I need some. I'm like, yeah, it's true. So now my mom like called my mom and dad used to call me randomly and say, "Oh, how what you doing today or what you eating?" Or we have my mom will make like these donuts or she'll make cookies and say, "Hey, come down here and get some because that's the only way I can pay you." I said, "Well, you could have gave me the money that you spent on your fucking food." You always say some stupid shit. And I was like, well, I'm just being honest. Like, instead of working, making all that food, you should have gave me the money. But see, I'm always joking, right? I never take money from them. I was telling my friend yesterday that they used to when I used to cut the grass, like when I first started cutting the grass and my dad couldn't do it, my mom would leave $50 on it in an envelope and write Mark on it, right? And then she'll be like, you better take that envelope. And I'll open it up right there and I'll be like, $50, that's it? I said, I bust my ass out here with it. I said, I make $50 an hour. I was out here for like 3 fucking hours. She goes, oh, that's all I can do. I can give you some cookies or something. She'll like start to like, be funny as well. And I'll be like, look, I'll take the $50 and I'm gonna go get you a case of water. I said, well, you need paper towel? No, I want you to take the money for gas and na 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 na. And then they used to get mad at me because I used to fill the lawnmower up before I got there. I used to use my gas to do it so I don't waste their gas, right? And they used to get pissed at me because I always use my money and my time to do shit for them, right? So because they didn't have like a lot of money, they did, and I told them, you don't have to pay me. I'm your son. It's my choice to do what I'm doing, right? So you don't have to pay me for anything. I don't want any favors. You took care of me for 18 years of my life, right? You wiped my ass, you clothed me, you put me in private school, you fed me, you clothed me, you gave me everything. I had a great childhood. You gave me everything I needed, even though it wasn't much, but it was enough, not like these kids have now. I said, you gave me what you could, and you're a great parent. And I told them this one Sunday, and they almost cried, right? And I said, look, now, please, for the love of God, just let me pay for you now. Let me pay for you. And that went in one ear and comes out the other. So I'll do like a job, like last year the hurricane came. Last year, was it last year? Yeah, I think last year a hurricane came, and the water came through the roof into the ceiling, and the ceiling fell in the kitchen, right? And I tried to get someone to fix it because I was busy, and I don't really do that type of shit, right? So then they're like, "Oh my God, how are we gonna pay for this? This is gonna be like $2,000 or $3,000 to fix." And I'm like, "Mom, calm down." So then we couldn't find like drywall board anywhere because like everybody was the hurricane fucked everything up. So people bought it all out, right? So then I finally got some and I put it up myself. And then I called my friend that does construction. I said, "Hey, look, I got a job for you at my mom's. I'll pay you to let me know and I'll work with you and we'll do it together. Because I can't do it by myself. I need somebody help." He goes, "Yeah, man, no problem." So he came and did it with me. And within a couple hours, we were finished. And now the ceiling's back to normal and everything. I painted it. I put the fan back. All this shit I did for him. I spent like $2,000 on materials, time, my own, time, and then I paid my friend like $600 to help me, right? And his stepson. So I spent like almost two grand probably total on fixing the patch in the ceiling, like and getting all the materials and busting my ass. So they told me, they kept asking me how much did it cost, and I said, look, it was like about $2,000. "Oh, you're lying. It's not you. It's more than that." And I said, "Mom, look, here's the bill for the guy." "Oh, but what about you?" I said, "Well, it's the same money because I'm not charging you. I had to pay him, and I had to pay for the stuff." So then they found out how much it was, and they tried to pay me, and I'm like, "No, I tell you, leave the fuck alone. Don't worry about it." I said, "Look, I come here every Sunday and eat food. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll deal with it." So I kind of took a lot of stress off of them, so that way they didn't know they didn't have to pay for everything. But that's my way of saying like, even though, cause see, even though they never like supported my business or like got me work or like never encouraged me or never like was proud of me like until recently, I showed them like I can do anything, like, and I'll fix the house and I'll pay for it. But if I was fucked up, I would have said, "Yeah, you never encouraged me to do something. You fucking gotta pay and take your money." So what type of son is that? What type of son would I be if I did that? What does God tell us to do? Like forgive, your mother and father, forgive, people and stuff like that. So I forgave my parents. I won't forgive a random person. But deep in my heart, I forgave them for how they treated me, like, and how they looked down on me like I wasn't nobody. So my sister told my parents off one day and says, "Look what Mark did at my house. Mark's made my house worth money. Look at this. He did all of this himself." And they're like, "Mark did that?" "Yeah. Mark does everything. You guys act like you don't know." So my sister ripped into him one day and told him, like, "You guys treat Mark like shit, man. He does so much for me and so much for the kids, and he does a lot for you guys, and you guys don't even say thank you. You guys are weird. Why you treat him like that?" So then my mom and dad started crying and shit because they had to hear it from my sister. And then ever since my sister told them about themselves, and then they saw me do the renovation up here in 2021 and 2022. They saw me up here and they saw what I did. And they were surprised that I knew so much, right? So, and I read the plans and I put everything where it was. I was the foreman of the job, right? And my sister paid me, and my brother, they paid me. At first they weren't, but then they did because I was doing too much work. I was willing to do everything for next to nothing. I'm always willing to help people and not even worry about money like that. And that's why I always, you know, uh, that's why I always get what I need. Like spirit always finds a way to provide. So that's why, like, if you're not greedy, shit will naturally come to you. Like, so when they saw what I did here, then they started to like compliment my work. They started to, because my sister taught them about themselves. So things changed, like their attitude changed towards me. And then, like I said, at church, people will come up to him and say, "Oh, Mark did this and Mark did that. Oh, you should be so proud of your son." And people be talking good about me, but they wouldn't even care. Like they'll be like, "Yeah, whatever." But I'm the type of person I don't need to be like praised. I don't like to be praised too much. Because when shit goes bad, you're not gonna praise me. And then so remember that energy when you're praising me and remember the same energy when you don't. So don't do it at all, and then you won't have to worry about when you don't have to, right? So I always say that like I don't like to be put on a pedestal or like people like say I'm so great and this and that. I don't like that shit. You can say it once or twice or whatever if you feel that way deep down in your heart or whatever. I'll take a compliment or whatever, but I don't really care to like be, absorbed by it every single day, right? And I don't want my parents to do that anyway, right? Because they don't have to. Because I don't really like that shit anyway. I don't like attention. But towards the end, like my dad, the last time I cut the grass was like 2 weeks ago. And my dad said, "Oh, thank you very much for your service, for your time. I appreciate it." And I said, "Fuck, this is a miracle." He's actually telling me, "Thank you, and I appreciate your time." I said, "Oh my God." I said, "It's gonna fucking rain or something." Like, and I think that because he knew that meant something to me and he knew he was like probably on his way out, he said it. Like finally he said like the whole sentence, but he wouldn't look at me. He was like taking ice out of the freezer and he was like, "Oh yeah," and his back's turned to me and he's talking, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks a lot for help, for doing the grass. I appreciate you." I'm like, "Yeah, you'll never look me in the damn eye and say it." Right, but at least he said it, right? I don't really care if he looked at me or not, right? And I told him, I said, "Yeah, no problem, you're welcome." And then I walked off, like, and then my mom goes, "Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look at you, you're all sweaty. Oh, but it's so much work." And I said, "Mom, it's okay. I'm used to it. I don't give a fuck." I said, "Look, the grass is cut. Don't worry about it. Let's just not worry about anything. I'm doing it for you guys. Don't worry. To save you money and save you time. Don't worry about it. It's cool." And even before my dad couldn't do it, I would go down there and help him rake the leaves. I would weed. He hated weed whacking. He used to like cutting the grass, but he never liked weed whacking. So I would do the weed whacking while he did the grass every Saturday. And then when I got sick one time with COVID, my brother cut the grass, right? And he fucked it all up. And my dad said I never want him to cut the grass ever again. Yeah, I started laughing. I said, "Well, you already know him. He's gonna do half-ass shit. He ain't like us. My brother, he's lazy and he don't care and he'll never do shit like that. He doesn't want to cut grass. He's too lazy. He has lazy ass jobs. He doesn't have like an art or like a he doesn't have like a skill, like electrical, plumbing. He doesn't. He just goes around delivering shit. He's like a joke. Not saying that people that do that are a joke, but you know, nah, he'll never do shit like me. See, I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to cutting grass too. I make sure like it's cut, it looks really nice. And when I cut the grass 2 weeks ago, my brother came to visit my parents, and my brother said, "Oh yeah, who cut the grass, Mark?" He's like, "Yeah, of course. He's the only one who cuts the grass." Hint, hint. He goes, "Oh yeah, he did a good job. It looks really nice." And I'm like, "Duh. No, he's definitely not handy. All he does is this. Look, blah 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 blah. He's never had a hard job in his life. He's worked inside his whole life, and now he delivers coffee for my cousin. My cousin has a coffee business, and he goes around delivering coffee, taking orders, driving around delivering coffee and shit to people. He don't do shit. I asked him if he wanted to cut the grass as a hustle because he needs money. I said, look, you and your son can come here and cut the grass. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I got time. Blah. I was like, you fucking idiot. I was like, you're such a fucking joke. I was like, I'm so busy and I need to like do all this shit at home because it was like preparing for the hurricane and I didn't have enough time to cut the grass. And I was like, why don't you do it when you come here at night? No fucking way. No way. He would not do that grass stayed big and he would not do it. And I told my parents, I said, this guy is so worthless. He can't even take an hour out of his time to go cut this fucking grass. And that's why I don't like him. That's why I lost all my respect for him, because he don't help nobody but himself. And he's gained so much weight. Like he looks terrible. I told my parents, look at him. He always says he ain't got no money, but he's fat as shit. If you didn't have money, then you would have money to eat. So obviously you got a lot of money because you're stuffing your face. Idiot. So I don't really get along with him. Even when I picked him up today from dropping the car off, I didn't really have too much of a conversation with him. I kind of keep my conversation very limited. We talked about our dad and that was it. And I'm like, little do you know, dad didn't even fucking like you. I don't know. I think he does drink, but I don't really know. I don't really know his life like that. But he's just a dickhead, you know. He's doing more now because see he like him and my mom. He loves my mom more because he knows my dad don't care for him like that. Him and my dad were never close, but him and my mom are. So he like loves to cater to my mom. He'll go down there, hey mom, because you know why? My mom's gonna feed his fat ass. That's why. Because when he goes on here, he'll be like, oh, yeah, it smells good. What you making, mom? Oh, you want a plate? Oh, yeah, sure. Anything for free. That fucker, anything for free. That's what he does. My brother, he's a leech. He'll take anything. He'll take absolutely anything. Because he's broke. Yeah, he's a mama's boy, yo. My mom's irritated with him. Hey, Monique, how you doing? My mom's irritated with him because he's coming around like too much, worried about my mom. And my mom just wants peace. Like she wants to be by herself. We already told my mom, look, you want us to come sleep with you and all that? You want to come sleep here and take care of you? No way. My mom refuses. And she refuses to come to our house too. She refuses to come anywhere. She wants to be home. And I respect that. Just leave her alone. Like yesterday, I didn't call her. I went down there, but I never called her after that because she said, I hate going to this phone every 5 minutes. So I said, you know what? I'm going to leave her alone, let everybody else deal with her because I'm always dealing with her. So everybody else can have their turn. And when the funeral's over on Friday, then that Saturday, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to cut the grass and I'm going to start working on the house like my dad wants me to. And I'm gonna go down there every day and I'm gonna do a little bit of work every day and I'm gonna make sure she's okay and I'm gonna take her for a drive to go do groceries. I'm gonna take her like to the city to go visit my sister at her job. Make sure I have to take her to go get her hair done. So I have to take her to the city so she can get her hair done. Just like I did with my dad, take him to his appointments, take my mom. So I'm gonna be like, on call for her as of after the funeral, it's going to be different. Things are going to go back to normal, right? So everything that she does, I'm going to have to help her as much as I can. But my youngest sister, she helps out a lot. And now she can help out more because her son's in college. So she can help, like, during her days off and shit. My sister's got like 2 days off a week. So every other week she has 2 days off. So she has like Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So my sister said when she's off on those weekends, we're gonna bring my mom up to our house and we're gonna feed her. And we're gonna like cook for her and have her up here. We'll order takeout or something. My mom, she's easy. Like she likes a lot of things, but she couldn't eat those things because of my dad. She had to eat the same thing my dad like, and then she couldn't make certain things or eat certain things in front of my dad. My youngest sister, she goes 45 next month. She's 44 now. She's 4 years younger than me. She's 44. I'm 48. And then when she goes 45, 3 months later in February, I go 49. So I'm like almost 4 years older than her. We're the closest gap because my oldest sister, she's 54. So she's like 6 years older than me. And then my brother, he's 9 years older than me. He's 57. Yeah. So she goes 45 next month. Yeah, so we're all like my mom, the biggest gap was between me and my sister. Like my mom had me 6 years later, which was the best decision of their life. When I said that on Saturday, my older sister rolled her eyes at me because she knows it's true. She hates not being number one. I was like, bitch, you'll never be number one in mom and dad's eyes. You done so much bullshit when you were younger. I was like, my mom and dad love me more than any fucking buddy. I know that for a fact. And I didn't even have to try because I was the black sheep for years. But then I grew up and became mature and I understood. I put God in my life first and then God showed me like what I had to do. Spirit took over my whole life and then that's it. And it happened at the right time. So it's all good. It's just preparing me you know, for life. But see, my dad didn't do much anyway, so I was already doing everything. So it's nothing's gonna really change in that way. The only change is gonna be dealing with my mom 24/7. Like I have to make sure that she's okay. Cause like I'm the most flexible, you know, child she has, because I work for myself and I can do whatever I want. So if I work, I work. If I don't, I'm just gonna go deal with her. And I'm gonna go work at her house. And she's gonna be probably pissed because I'm not gonna take nothing from her. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna keep saying I'm doing it in memory of dad to keep her quiet. And then I'm gonna tell her that I spoke to my psychic friend and dad came and said that he said that I should do all the work there in his memory. Oh, you're lying. The psychic don't say that. I'm gonna tell her, yeah, my psychic friend told me. Meanwhile, it's me, right? But I'm gonna tell her that my psychic friend told me, so she can believe. Well, I'm gonna be fine. I'm in good spirits myself. I'm not really, upset like a lot because I know that I can handle what's going on. All I gotta do is sit here and wait for Friday, go to the funeral, see all my friends and family. I'll be happy to see everybody. Get through it. It's only a couple hours. It starts at 2 and it'll probably finish probably like 3 something, 3:30. And then after that, we gotta take him to the grave. So that's probably another hour. So I'll be home like 5 o'clock, 5 something. So it ain't gonna be that bad. Any fucked up thing, it says it's supposed to be bad weather, but I hope not. I hope it's a decent day. I just hope it doesn't pour when we take him to the grave. I want everybody like not to get soaking wet. But if it is, it is just showers of blessings. That's how you gotta look at it. But hopefully not. Hopefully spirit will stop the rain when we go outside. Or hopefully it's not that bad when we go. But as of right now, the Friday doesn't look good for weather. Even tomorrow, right now it's nice, but they said it's gonna switch up real quick. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is gonna be a break, and then Friday the weather gets windy and shit. So I don't know. We'll see. We still got a lot of hurricanes and storms all around us. It's a pain in the ass, but oh well. Anyway, it's 2 o'clock here. I'm gonna go get some lunch. I'm fucking starving. You said you're curious if we have the same ritual, like after going to a funeral, you have to go somewhere else for a bit before going home straight. Nah, that's not us. Nah, we don't do that shit. Like people have a party afterwards. Like my mom told me and my sister when they went to Canada last year for my uncle's funeral, they had it was like 2 days straight funeral bullshit. And they said that after the funeral they had a party. And my mom said she hated that. She would that her brother would have been pissed seeing all those people at his house. So they went against his wishes and had a party at his house when he died. Like the same day of the funeral, like that night. And my mom said that she didn't like that at all. She said she doesn't want that for my dad either. Nah, I mean we're gonna go somewhere else anyway, but there is no negative energy because we're not burying the devil. We're burying my dad. We don't believe too much in that bullshit. We don't do that shit. But my mom already said there's not gonna be no after party because there's nothing to celebrate. And I'm like, I agree, mom. Everybody go to fuck him and shut up. My sentiments exactly. Fuck that. I ain't gonna party after no death. You fucking crazy? After that funeral, my brain's gonna be like crazy. After that funeral, I'm gonna be like probably crying like crazy, and I'm gonna come home and just wanna like just be by myself, you know. But probably not. I'll probably be like happy to see all my family and friends and stuff. They'll probably like be cool with me or whatever. But I want to I want to go to the funeral to the church. I want to sit there and enjoy the funeral and enjoy what the priest says and put my time there in the church. And then after church, when we go bury him, I'm going to be there to watch that. And then after that, when I get in that car and go home, that's it. I know it's officially over and I don't have to deal with it no more. And that's when the next day, when I wake up on Saturday, that's when life is going to be officially changed. I'll go right back to normal. I'm going to go to my mom's, make sure she's okay, start fixing shit, start making a list of what I need, what materials, what paint, and I'm gonna start because I told my cousin I want him to help me at the end of the month when it starts to get a little cooler because the time zone's gonna change soon. So like around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it's not gonna be hot. It's gonna be nice because it's starting like the sun's gonna start to like go down around 5:30. So it's gonna be like the perfect time to work. I love this time of year when it like goes daylight savings because the sun doesn't stay out that long. So it's like, yeah, go away so I can have some peace. It's too fucking hot. Like today, it's 83 degrees and 90% humidity. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get some lunch. I'm really hungry right now, and I'm glad I'm hungry because I haven't been hungry for a while. But I'm gonna go eat some food, get something in my system, and take a little rest. And I'll be back tonight at some point. But yeah, I need to go get something in my system. I had breakfast earlier, but I need to eat some lunch now. Anyway, Lucky, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back.